weeks back, I went to the Global Lean Leadership Summit in St. Louis at Cambridge Manufacturing. Amazing event. Took 4 of my people with me. We had people from 6 countries there. We toured Cambridge Manufacturing, and their company was the showcase for this event to show how they had implemented successfully Lean, and it was incredible. And it brought tears to my eyes. I have to work hard not to cry right now, but I walked around and I took these videos of these people, and I go, wow, this is incredible.
It's extremely open-minded, and they're always pushing you forward to improve. There's no limits on the improvements.
What about how much time it takes? They don't care that it takes time for you to make these improvements?
No, it may set you behind during your day, but next week and next month, you're going to make up for it and then some. And I've seen that because when I first started doing Lean, I was in training, and we started with 8 units a day, and we went up to 10. And I'm like,
and that's just in 2 months.
Right, and I'm like, how am I supposed to do this if you would just let me work and stop talking about all this Lean stuff? But now that I've made a few improvements, I'm faster, and now we're doing more units, and I'm getting done faster and with less errors.
Awesome, great job, Chris.
Thank you.
Could you handle a few people like that? How about this
And you've only been here for 2 months, and you're getting all this already.
This is my 5th week.
Your 5th week.
Word.
How did you get it so quickly? You seem to really understand what this is all about.
I've been introduced to Lean before, but it was introduced to me as a tool, not necessarily a philosophy or a way of seeing everything.
Right.
And I wasn't necessarily encouraged to make changes where I was at before.
And here they do?
Here, very much so. Very
so
much so.
Are you doing this to please the management because you're brown nosing them, or are you doing it because you believe in it?
No, sir. It makes my job easier. It makes my job easier, and it's...
What do you think of the leadership of this company?
They're unique, and
Why are they unique?
They're unique in the sense of they care. They're humble enough to come out here and talk to me. I've never had that. I'll say that right now. They're humble enough to come and ask how I'm doing as a worker.
At what level? Who would come out here and talk to you?
Mark, our president. I see him twice a day, probably.
And he knows your name?
Absolutely. He knew my name before I could remember his.
Why would he even
on the
come
first
out?
week?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. He knew my name before I couldn't remember his name for the first 3 days. He just introduced himself as Mark because he is Mark. He's not Mr. President. The level of humility in this place is amazing. It's across the board. It's enough to bring a man to tears.
It brings me to tears, to be honest with you.
And I want to do good because they care. The environment here is just so encouraging, and that's, I don't know how else I can put it.
Is it just Mark that cares, or is
No,
it everybody?
Sir. No, it's everybody. It starts with a universal experience. Everybody, our staff cleans the bathroom alongside us. We clean the bathroom, they clean the bathroom.
Alongside the management.
Shirts and ties, yes. We'll get on the floor, scrubbing toilets. This is how we operate here. We're on the same team. We're all on the same team.
Mark, stand up. The soul of Lean.
That gave us that time. Because that Lean improvements that we did. This is every day. I mean, it's not just we're just talking, we're living it. We used to weld this onto the blower housing. Right. And if it was welded wrong or something like that, that was trash. Now this is screwed. So if this is formed wrong, take the screws out, redo it. To be honest, that extra time we have at the end of the day, you're not as fatigued because at the end of the day, you sit down, he makes the little chart out he showed you over there. At the end of the day, nobody comes over and says, you should be working, you owe me an extra hour left in the day, we're paying you for that. We sit down on that, nobody come over, we're paying you. None of that. Say, how about we try it this way? Does it work for you? Go for it. But we got the okay from the top to do it. We don't have to get permission from our bosses unless it's a big dollar amount or it's going to really affect production. But if it's something that you can do it. We use a $1 million machine to punch the hole bigger, and this is to go over the shaft over here.
Okay.
You do like 100, 200 at a time.
And now you use a dollar piece of wood and a piece of metal.
Take take this, put it in there, put this over here. Do it as we need it.
As you need it, just in time, right here.
As you need it.
This hinge had to be, it was spot welded onto the lid, but then this side of the hinge had to be welded, MIG welded onto the can itself. It was very easy to get this thing spot welded on there crooked. Then when you went to go close the lid, the lid wouldn't close properly. So Marvin, as he likes to call himself, was a pit bull on this and just kept on our engineers and on our supervisors to make this easier. So now everything is riveted together. This has to be turned one way for an up blast and the other way for a down blast. Well, if you accidentally spot welded those things wrong, you had to throw those lids away. Now, take the screws off, turn it around.
Total flexibility.
Absolutely.
I'm a welder by trade, so I got rid of welding, and they said that's normally unheard of. My guys here thought I was nuts. You know, I said, "God, you gonna get yourself out of a job, getting rid of all the welding?" No, I looked at the overall deal, how that affects everybody. The guys over here, the guys down there, even our guys out in the field that install these. If they run into a problem, something's not formed right or whatever, instead of throwing away the whole deal, you throw away that piece that's wrong and put a new piece in.
So you weren't thinking about yourself, you're thinking about the team.
Everybody. It's a win-win situation all the way around.
So what do you think's more valuable for you as a worker, to be a welder or to be a lean problem solver?
A lean problem solver, because once you eliminate the problems that bug you, and that's what we call things that bug you, like that did, it makes your life easier. Instead of, say it took you 20 minutes to do something, and you just eliminated 10 minutes off of it, that frees you up to do something else or train. I can do this job, I can do burner, I can do accessories, but you're versatile.
Did you notice he never talked about money? It makes your life better. Why did Sakichi Toyota do what he did? To improve the quality of life for his mother. Why am I so passionate about lean? Because it improves the quality of life for people. The leadership team at Cambridge. 4,000 videos in 2 years. 4,000 videos in 2 years. Here's a word from them.
Well, just look at everybody here. I mean, come on, to be in an environment like this, people are thriving, and it is so wonderful to go home every day when you see people that are talking, solving problems, engaged, and happy. And when you see that health, it makes me really happy, but it just blows me away because you know they're going home with the same step, the same energy level, not drained, not beat up. And if you go home with that energy, it's amazing what you can do to give back to your family. Be better fathers, mothers, brothers, daughters, sons.
You know organizational health when you feel it and when you're in the middle of it. And it's just a whole bunch of different things that are all coming together, a lot of small things that are coming together. But without it, it's hard to do anything well. With it, it's hard to do much wrong. And it feels right now like we're making great strides on organizational health, and things are falling into place because of it.
Patrick connects basically organizational health with sustainable growth and says that it's the #1 key ingredient, and more important than strategy, more important than product or market. And I believe that. I believe that the other leaders resonated with that. It really matched the core of who Cambridge has been for 53 years. And a family-based business that loves their people well.
We have employees that have gone through difficult times, and we've been there for them. We've given them a second chance. Sometimes we've had people that have had to leave to see how it is outside of here, and then been able to have them come back and feel good about coming back.
When we hit those playbook questions, it just, I don't know, it just isolated. Maybe it just isolated the things that a mission statement's trying to do, but I loved the clarity of the why do we exist. If a company doesn't know why they exist, everything else is just really probably going to fail.
Cambridge exists to glorify God by enriching the quality in every life we touch.
I take tremendous pride or joy when I see families prosper, and not just financially, but when they're growing and learning together. and that's just a huge richness, something that I really enjoy, and I take great pride in.
We wrestled with the why question for several years until we landed on this one. And the reason I think we wrestled is because it's so important and it's so long lasting. And Patrick actually in his book, The Advantage, says to ask why continually until you can't ask why again. And this one really felt like we could never get to a bigger why.
It's an unequivocal knowledge. You haven't been here for very long before you unequivocally know that that's the background and the history of the family that owns this company is a faith-based, God-based why. So it would have been empty without it. It would have been incomplete without it.
Just being positive when you talk to people, no matter what the situation is, trying to be positive to help them, to guide them in finding what's right for them.
For me, it means that everybody we touch, whether it's an employee or a vendor or a customer or just somebody walking through the door, doesn't matter, visitor, they should go away having felt like that their touch with us has made their life better.
When I've watched Lean over the last year and a half really take off inside of Cambridge, and I look back on the why, I think it's because of because of the foundation laid by the why we exist and how we behave. It's always been about the people, but these ability to state that and building on that is really powerful.
We express unconditional love and high expectations by behaving with care, courage, integrity, and respect.
I love the concept of unconditional love and high expectations because I've been given a lot of unconditional love. And I've also had expectations, and those are areas where we all grow and thrive together.
So the answer to how we behave, it's trying to be a true reflection of the culture and how you actually behave, not how you want to behave. And so to be able to say that Cambridge behaves with unconditional love and high expectations, demonstrating care, integrity, respect, and courage, is a big, tall order.
But we're going to be here and we're going to support you and help lift you as you go through whatever you're going through. And we're not perfect. It's okay. But we'll help you through it. Help you get better.
The addition of unconditional love and high expectations was, it actually rounded it out for me because we talk a lot constantly about being a family. And families can be healthy, families can be dysfunctional, there's different kinds of families. We want a healthy family, obviously, and so looking at what are the characteristics of a healthy family, because I think the family health language is wonderful. We all love it, we're unified around it, we sincerely feel it. And so families need to have unconditional love, but they also need to have high expectations. They need to expect a lot of one another, and then when we fail, we just keep pulling one another up and show unconditional love in doing it. So the unconditional love piece for me is, I love you for who you are, not what you do.
My parents loved people. My grandfather loved people. And I learned that was one of the most satisfying things is to love people and engage them and treat them and be the way you want to be treated.
You want it? Every person, everything, every day. Thank you very much.